alaikum. I came to America at the age of 11 from Bangladesh with my family of 6 for a bright future. By the time I reached America, my parents only had $10 in their pockets. Our humble beginnings did not prevent my parents from sending me to school, but they had no idea what was waiting for me at school, neither did I. I hardly spoke a word of English and was the only one wearing the headscarf, also known as the hijab, in the entire school. I chose to cover up, to obey my Creator, and make a statement about my identity as a Muslim woman, which I held so close to my heart. But I had no idea that a piece of fabric on my head would cause me so much pain for the next several years. I was discriminated both verbally and physically. I was called names such as Batman and Ninja. At one point, students literally kicked me and spit at me, both inside and outside the school. I was so scared I used to enter the school from the boys' entrance instead of the girls. I believe I was the only girl to do so. The lowest point of my discrimination at middle school in the Bronx was not what I went through by my classmate, but rather when my English teacher started to make fun of the way I dressed. As a teacher, he was supposed to protect me and help me boost my confidence. Yet he did the opposite by crushing my self-esteem to the ground. I faced similar situations at high school, but with much more intensity. I still remember the day when a bunch of girls, they were waiting for me outside my classroom just to pull off my hijab. And of course, how can I forget the moment of being surrounded by at least 10 to 15 boys who spit and mocked my hijab. I feel so helpless and terrified. I constantly face the following question: don't you ever dress normal? Constant discrimination continued throughout my high school years. I could have dropped out of my high school, but that was never an option for me. In fact, I graduated on top of my class. Sorry. I was more terrified when I entered university during the time of 9/11. Being a Muslim in New York City after 9/11 was risky to begin with. On top of that, being a hijabi was a direct sign saying she is a Muslim. I constantly lived in fear as I was called names such as Osama bin Laden and terrorist. And of course, I could never avoid those stares as if I was from a different planet. I even got chased a few times on the street. It was a total nightmare. Fast forwarding a few years, on October 1st, 2010, I launched an online hijab store called StunningHijab.com. One of the aims of my business was to serve others. I wanted to have a support system where Muslim women could share their hijab experience. Shortly afterwards, I started to receive emails from women across the globe. I specifically remember this 14-year-old girl named Aliyah from UK. She wrote me an email explaining how her classmate chewed gum and spit at her hijab, and it became a laughing matter just because of her hijab. I also received countless messages from women who got fired from their job and was rejected at their job interviews just because of their hijab. After reading all these messages, I was able to relate to them, sympathize with them, and knew exactly what they're going through. During the summer of 2011, after receiving many messages from women across the globe with similar situations, I kept on thinking, how can I help these women? How can I help myself? That's when the idea of World Hijab came to my mind. I thought if I could invite women in all faiths, Muslim and non-Muslim, to walk in my shoes just for one day, perhaps things would change. I want to bring this idea to life. So I created a website called worldhijabday.com along with a Facebook fan page. I launched them on January 21st, 2013. My message was simply to invite women in all faiths across the globe to wear the hijab just for one day on February 1st, 2013. Within just 8 days, I got responses from women from 67 countries worldwide, including the United Kingdom, Australia, Nigeria, Indonesia, Pakistan, Sweden, Albania, Denmark, and Mexico. World Hijab, women from various religious backgrounds, including Jewish, Christians, pagans, atheists, Wiccans, Rastafarians, Mormons, and many more responded to my call. I was able to translate the World Hijab Day poster in 23 different languages, including Dutch, Croatian, Indonesian, and Burmese. World Hijab Day was featured on mainstream news media such as BBC, Al Jazeera, Huffington Post, and many more. World Hijab Day was a huge success as women from different faiths joined hand in hand in solidarity to support millions of women who choose to wear hijab on a daily basis and live a life of modesty. Let's hear some of the responses from World Hijab Day participants. Carrie Jo Stewart from Canada wrote, Emma, my 8-year-old daughter said she got called names, but she kept on wearing the hijab. It didn't seem to bother her. We're Christians, but love our Muslim sisters. She wants to involve her in school next year. Diana Austin, a pagan background, wrote, some of my friends and I have taken a vow to wear the hijab for a year and a day. It is to honor women around the world who wear them every day. Tia wrote, I greatly respect women who wear hijab every day. I found it quite comfortable actually. I'm still confused, however, as to why some people seem to equate hijab with oppression. I found nothing oppressive about covering my head at all. On the contrary, it was liberating not to having constantly worry about my hair. Joe Galvez, a Catholic from the Philippines, wrote, it's commonly believed that wearing a veil is a form of sexual discrimination. I didn't find it to be so. To my surprise, the veil was strangely liberating and an apologetic form of self-expression. World Hijab Day has helped many Muslim women embrace the hijab for a lifetime, as Sister Natasha expressed. World Hijab Day was the encouragement I needed to wear hijab. By next World Hijab Day, I'll be proud to say that I've been a hijabi for a year, inshallah. Before I end my talk, I would like to remind myself and all of you here that this life is too short to hold grudges or hate toward each other. At the end of the day, we are all part of one big family called human race. I pray that a movement like World Hijab Day give us an opportunity to learn to be tolerant of each other by accepting and respecting each other's differences. It is only through tolerance and understanding we can coexist peacefully. I invite all of you to join in my quest to have 1 million participants for the next World Hijab Day on upcoming February the 1st by spreading the word. It is only through working together we can achieve to have a local form of World Hijab Day in as many cities, states, countries, and continents as possible. Let's start a World Hijab Day revolution, a tool for tolerance, understanding, and peace. Thank you very much for your time. Can you play the video, please?
حصريا على منتديات القرآن.
لو رأيتم ما أعطاها ربها أو ما كساها، لو رأيتم بسمة أو نسمة يهفو هواها، لو رأيتم ما أعطاها ربها أو ما كساها، لو رأيتم بسمة أو نسمة يهفو هواها، حين سارت في عفاف واستقامت في خطاها، حين صار النور روضا قد سقته وجنتاها، حين سارت قامت في خطاها حين صار النور روضا قد سقته وجنتاها. والحياء يستفيض منهلا حلوا وشاها، والعفاف صار تاجا من زهور قد علاها. والحياء يستفيض منهلا حلوا وشاها، والعفاف صار تاجا من زهور قد علاها. غضت الطرف المعنى في الوقار قد حواها، خفضت صوتا هموسا ترتجي ربا رعاها. غضت الطرف المعنى في الوقار قد حواها، خفضت صوتا هموسا ترتجي ربا رعاها.